Hello, everyone. Welcome into Film Fridays here on the Arrowhead Addict YouTube page. I am Matt Verderam, and we have a play to break down the Chiefs' first offensive play in the fourth quarter to drive they end up scoring on to make it 20-17 before, of course, ultimately losing to the Buffalo Bills 24-20. The Chiefs had just gotten a turnover on downs, and so this is a 1st and 10 play, and it's really easy from a film perspective to break down. So I'm going to give the actual breakdown, and then I'm going to talk a little bit of context here going forward. So when you're looking at the Chiefs here, it's a 3-by-1 look. Okay, 11 personnel, 3 receivers, a tight end and a back. Edwards-Helaire in the backfield, to the left of Mahomes in the shotgun. You got Kelce in the slot, tight to the line. He's coming across in motion, and then you have Sky Moore and you have Juju up top on the top half of the screen. The bottom half of the screen, MVS by himself. Now the Bills were a very heavy zone team. Typically, they played a lot of man in this game. They're not afraid of the Chiefs receivers one-on-one. And this is a man look all the way. They're not disguising anything. It's very simple. It's cover 2. Safety's about 15 yards off the line of scrimmage. Okay. Edmonds is on Kelce. I'm actually a little bit surprised that the Chiefs didn't check to a pass here, but I also understand if you're Mahomes, why you stuck with this run. Now, as we start to play this, okay, you're going to see that Edwards-Helaire is going to get the handoff. Okay, so right here, this is a stretch run to the right side. Now they're asking Edwards-Helaire to go from the left hash all the way down across the field. All right. Now the field, for those of you who don't know, is 53 1/3 yards wide. Now they're not asking him to run 50 yards, but they're asking him to go a good 20, 25 yards here. He's trying to get down across the field, across the formation. And what the Chiefs want to do here is seal the backside with Tooney, which they do beautifully. They want to basically catch Von Miller in the wash. Now he's on the edge of the defense. The big block here is Wiley sealing the edge on Miller and then trying to get to Matt Milano, who's standing right at about the 50-yard line. Okay, the Bills standout linebacker. And what happens, that you're going to see in a second, is Miller becomes no factor. He actually jumps on the inside gap, so it works perfectly. The Chiefs get a break there. Miller is not trying to go off the outside shoulder while he's trying to go inside. Perfect. Beautiful. Chiefs get a break. What Wiley needs to do here is pin Miller inside, and then if he can, try to impede Milano in some way. It's not easy. Milano's a fast linebacker. He's very talented, but that's what you want to do. Once Miller jumps inside, Wiley should give him a good hard shove toward Trey Smith, and then he should try to get out to get to Milano. MVS on the bottom of the screen is going to do a great job of blocking his corner. That's not a problem. The safeties, even though they're seeing the action, if you notice, they're 2 yards back from where they started when the play first was snapped, right? Like they are backing up. They are not going to let the Chiefs get a shot play here. So if the Chiefs block this up correctly and Edwards-Helaire has enough speed to utilize the play call correctly, this could be a nice play. I'm not saying it's going for a touchdown, but it could be a first down, right? It could be 10 to 12 yards, somewhere in that range. And now if we run it a little bit more, you're going to see as Miller jumps inside, Wiley gets him turned. He does that job, but Milano's coming free. Now, part of this is Matt Milano's a really good player, okay? And he reads the play and he starts to run immediately, and Wiley is not going to be able to get out there quick enough. But Wiley also waits a little too long. You got to give the jab and then get out there. And Wiley doesn't do that. He takes too long to get outside. I think part of the problem is the Chiefs don't run the ball enough. They're not used to this kind of thing. You can coach it all you want, and I think it needs to be a coaching point this week. But if you don't practice it enough in actual games, if you don't put it into repetitions that matter, it becomes a thing that you're not used to doing. But now, if we run the play through here, you're going to see Edwards-Helaire. He doesn't have the speed. He can't get there, right? Like Milano comes down and he makes the play. Now, that sounds like I'm knocking Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm not. It is not Clyde Edwards-Helaire's fault that he's not a very fast running back. That's not his skill set. His skill set is much more between the tackles. He can shift his feet. He can make a guy miss, mostly in a phone booth. That's what he's good at. He's not good at outrunning guys. He's not good at running to the corner. He's not able to do that. And this is where I lose my mind a little bit with the Chiefs coaching staff. Isaiah Pacheco is a very fast running back. Now, Matt Milano, again, is a really good player. And maybe Matt Milano gets enough of Pacheco that he's able to stop him. But I got to tell you, if you watch that play through and you watch it a few times, you'll see like there's an opportunity for Edwards-Helaire to try to go around the wide side of Valdes-Scantling. But he can't get there because he's not fast enough. Pacheco has the speed that I guarantee you he would have tried to go around the rail there. He would have tried to use Valdes-Scantling's block as an essential pick for Milano. And maybe he gets there, maybe he doesn't. I think he does. I think with that speed and the angle he has to take at his speed, I think he can get there. Regardless, running CEH on that type of a play is insane. He is not built to do that. He cannot beat guys to the edge. It's like asking Travis Kelce to run go ball routes. Like it's asking him to run 9 routes instead of asking him to do what he does, which is destroy people for the last decade across the middle of the field, right? It's like telling Travis Kelce, hey, Trav, go out wide and try to beat the corner 40 yards down the field. You're going to make him ineffective. He can't do that. That's not Travis Kelce's fault. That's your fault. That's a coaching mistake. That's a coaching error. This play should have and could have worked, but they had the wrong running back in the game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire serves a purpose on the Chiefs. He's had a decent season. But when you're going to run these stretch outside plays, if you're not putting in Isaiah Pacheco, you are failing the team. You are putting CEH in a bad spot, and you're putting Pacheco in no man's land. If he's not going to play on those downs, why is he on the roster? The Chiefs have to run the ball better. They don't need to be a predominant running team. They should never be a predominant running team. They have Patrick Mahomes. But they need to run the ball more effectively. You'll stop seeing those safeties almost 20 yards off the line of scrimmage. They can't throw the ball down the field if they cannot threaten with the run better. And by the way, they'll block a lot better on the edges too if the edge rushers have to consider that once in a while they actually have to play the run. This play is a perfect example of everything that's wrong right now with the Chiefs running game.